What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Movie Talks, the only podcast you need for all your movie news, movie reviews, and more. I almost messed it up again, and this time I got a little bit of an excuse. Just got off a cruise today and flew in back into the ADL. So let's go. Got a little sea legs. I'm a little bit topsy turvy, but
And you
that's
hated it.
hated it so much. We
You
we
messaged
had
me the morning, like I think it was 2 p.m. of your first fun day at sea, and you're like, "This is fucking horrible. Get me off this ship. I hate it. I hate it. I hate
yep
it."
yep. The kids loved it. It was the only thing stopping me from pulling the fire alarm.
Yeah, I'm glad the kids enjoyed it. That's sort of the
Yeah,
whole point. But
yeah.
at the same time, it doesn't make it fucking any less horrible for you.
Nope, nope. And the last day was like real choppy. So I was like,
Oh, you were feeling it? Yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah. I used a whole box of seasick tablets.
No shit.
It's
You're just
not
down on
my.
them like Tic Tacs.
Oh, I did one in the morning and then one closer to bedtime just to make sure.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's fine. And then made sure I downloaded all the things so I could watch them on the plane. So
Nice.
yeah, so let's get into movie news, unless you've got any bits and pieces you want to add for your holiday extravaganza.
Nah, not
Yeah,
really. I watch a
yeah,
shit ton of movies.
yeah, you
Finally
do.
watched The Big Lebowski. I think it's a fucking masterpiece.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
I've never seen it. No, it's one of those movies that everyone's always told me to watch. I watched it twice,
Okay,
within like 2 days of each whatever. And yeah, first time I was like, "This is really good," and second time, it's insane. It's so clever. The writing's incredible. The actors are great. Coen Brothers killing it.
right.
Great movie.
Yeah, very, very good.
Yeah,
Oh, all right. Let's jump in to some movie news.
please.
We've got obviously Robert Downey Jr. is about to become back into the Marvel franchise, so he's going to be playing the
Mm.
new Doctor Doom. Interesting. I would have thought maybe they would have branched out and gone for a different sort of realm with a new person to do it, but I
It's
guess,
safe.
yeah, I guess true.
Look at the hype it's drummed up. Like no one would have given a shit if it was someone else. We would give him a
Mm,
shit, but like the hype of him coming back to the MCU, people were so fucking excited.
true. Yeah,
Smart.
but yeah, whatever. We'll see. See if they, because phase two sucked. Like there was a couple of good movies, but the rest of it sucked, which
No comment.
they couldn't follow up from Endgame. We've got
Isn't Doctor Doom like got a mask on anyway?
yeah, but whatever.
Yeah,
He
sure.
yeah. We got Henry Cavill to lead a live action of Voltron movie. That'll be interesting. I quite like the Voltron
Yeah.
the TV show. I got around that. Thought that was really
I don't
good.
think I ever watched it.
Hmm. It's good. It's on Netflix. It was a Netflix special. It was pretty much like
Yeah.
an alternative Power Ranger, less like explosion. Ah, they beat us. Ah, we morph and we beat them, which runs a
Yeah.
similar format, but a little bit more storyline.
It always struck me more as like E-Man-esque in
Yeah,
its
yeah, it's a
style and delivery.
He-Man Power Rangers, I guess, if
Yeah.
you will. Someone we haven't seen on screen for a while, well, I haven't anyway, is Jude Law. He's now in the movie called The Order, which is Jude Law's take on a neo-Nazi terrorist in a true story based on Justin Cazale's thriller. I don't even know who that is.
No
No,
idea either.
but
He's the weird fucking mix of movies in his history.
right. Didn't he play? Who was the like Casanova bloke? He played like a modern telling of Casanova, where he was like the ladies' man. That was like the last one I saw him in.
I don't know that one.
I can't remember what that was. Alfie? I feel like it was
Okay, I don't
called.
know that one.
I think it was called Alfie. Yeah, that's the last one I
Mr.
saw.
Ripley? Talented Mr.
Mm,
Ripley? No,
nah, pretty sure it
that's
was
not
Alfie.
recent. Yeah, probably Alfie. I don't know. I don't. The Order. Okay,
Yeah,
because he
so
was
we'll
in
see.
like he was Dr. Watson in Sherlock, right? Speaking of Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
I forget those
he's
movies
just
exist.
fucking. I know they're not good. Not a
Yeah,
fan.
yeah, oh well.
But he's done like romance with like The Holiday, and yeah,
Yeah,
he's done
it's
some
true.
weird mix of movies.
Who knows? We also have another video game adaptation. So this one's a weird one. Do you remember? I think it was. I can't remember what platform. It was like early days, like 2D still. Shinobi. Shinobi.
Shinobi.
Yeah, you know, you played
I
as
don't
a
think I know
ninja.
that.
It was like a platformer. Um, yeah,
Shinobi.
I
What was that
think it
Ninja
was,
Gaiden?
yeah, it was. I think Ninja Gaiden took some inspiration from it, but this was like
Sure. It looks
early
familiar.
2D one.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
we've got the Sam Hargrave to helm a live action Shinobi video game movie. So that could be interesting. Could be really, really bad. You never quite know with video game adaptations.
I know who Sam Hargraves is. Nope.
Nope. So we'll see. The guy on the cover looks a little bit Hugh Jackman-esque with the beard and the hair.
Yeah, I'm seeing as well with the beard
Yeah.
and the hair.
Yep. Yeah. So I
Sure.
think he works on the Super Mario movie and also the Sonic the Hedgehog ones as well.
Why is it based on Shinobi? Like an
Well,
old 2D
I don't
platformer.
know.
I don't know that much deep story. Actually, I don't know.
I don't know. Who knows?
But again,
Just
it's easier to attach something to a pre-existing IP than it is to try and bring out something new.
true. True. We've got Christopher Nolan is sets a new movie at Universal for 2026, and Matt
Yeah, I did
Damon
see
is looking like he's going
the
to be the
lead.
lead. Could
Yeah.
be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Nolan makes good shit.
Yeah. I
I
will
don't
see
think it's.
it.
Yeah, I'll see it. I don't think like people fucking all any movie he comes out with. I know people who they're his favorite director. I get it. And I enjoy his stuff, but like I don't know. I don't think I don't love his style.
Christopher Nolan.
I mean, he's good, but I like stuff bit more ridiculous and
Yeah.
bit more like fantasy, I suppose. Like there's
Yeah.
more elements to it than realism, I suppose.
Yeah. I don't know why this one's in the mix, but this is the last bit, and it's bizarre. So, the Alien Isolation video game sequel is officially in the works.
Hmm.
So, I guess it's following on after Alien
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
Romulus,
Well, they were
whatever
saying
they
that
called it.
Romulus was based on Alien Isolation or
Yeah,
like inspired by. So I
I
can see
mean,
how it's sort of movie news.
I've heard good things about it, so I guess
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
haven't played it. I've watched a playthrough. It's pretty cool, pretty
Yeah,
scary. Like you feel, isolated.
well, that's good.
Like you definitely feel pretty fucking scared of this thing.
Saying that is in the name, you'd hope so.
Literally, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a typical survival horror where you can't fight against the enemy, you gotta hide and
well, that's the
all that
worst
sort of
ones.
stuff.
At least like Resident Evil, we get to fight back. Like you get limited
Nah,
ammo, but you
this
can
is
fight
more
back.
like it's more
Outlast.
like yeah,
Yeah,
Outlast and those sorts of games where you just gotta
yeah,
hide and
gross.
shit yourself.
Nope, nope, not doing it.
Nope.
No. All right, let's jump into our newest one off the ranks. So this is on Netflix. This has been all over my TikTok and X
Yeah.
page, Twitter page, etc. I don't think
You
you
have
had heard
X?
about it last week. Yeah, I got X.
I know you
I,
had X. There you
I
go.
use it for FIFA stuff, but
Oh
like
sure.
I use it to look at the leaks. I don't understand how to use it. I need to spend some time to actually use it. But
Haven't
yeah,
touched it.
yeah, whatever. This is Dandadan. I believe I
Dun
got
dun
that
dun
right.
dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
The
So
song is so good. I'm listening
this,
to the song heaps, like
yeah,
over and over and over again. It's
yeah,
fucking
right.
awesome.
Yeah, right. I actually wasn't expecting this to be in English when it released. I was expecting subtitles, but I guess because it's Netflix, they released it at the same time.
I think it's
Mm.
further in Japanese though, because I've seen people talk about certain characters, like, oh, this
Okay.
character is this style of Japanese culture and whatever.
Okay.
And I haven't even seen that character yet. So I'm guessing that there's already more in Japanese, but
Maybe. I don't know.
yeah, I've only watched the English.
Yeah. So yeah, I all I saw was people losing their mind and everyone super hyped about it. So we're like, yeah, we got to jump on board, jump on board.
Yeah.
And this is a story of young love and occult battles begin when Momo and Okarun's beliefs clash. They're thrown into a world of ghosts, aliens, and awkward powers. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, did I say the name right? I don't even know.
I don't know right now. I'm gonna look up like
It might have been.
Dandadan.
So
I know
We
that in the second episode, she's like, yeah, Okuran.
Okaran.
Um, because she has a different he has an actual name, and she's like, no, that can't be your name. I'm calling it Okuran instead. I'm guessing it's because his actual name is like the same name as a celebrity or something, because she's infatuated with the celebrity that she's like, I think it's a celebrity anyway,
Yeah, that's
where
at
she's
the
like,
end of
oh,
the first episode. It's you
yes.
learn that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But then at the beginning of the next one, she's like, no, your name is Okuran instead.
yeah, okay.
So from now on, I'll call you that. And he's like, but that's not my name. She's like, well, that's what I'm calling you.
Yeah. Oh, so this does not disappoint in terms of its wackiness. So I
No,
went into this going, oh, this is just going to be another hype. It's just the hype and it's going to die. But as you go into this, we are following our main, well, we got two main leads and our first, what was her name again? She's like
Momo.
so Momo is a bit of a, would you say one of those like popular girls in the mix?
I think her personality is more like she doesn't give a fuck. Like she doesn't
Yeah.
care about people's opinions of her, and she's just sort of a free spirit.
Yeah, so her grandma was a medium. Yeah,
Yep.
she was a medium and made her do all sorts of wacky different things, like go with her hands in the air to channel her chi and then keep her aurora and all sorts of things up. And then she is the carefree spirit, doing whatever she wants. She's got the fascination with Ken Takaraku, whatever, however you say that name. Whoever
Yeah, I
that
don't know.
is, we assume it's a celebrity because you know it's not just some random person.
Mm.
It's yeah. So you got that.
Takakura.
That's the
Oh, it's an
one.
actor. Ken Takakura is an
Or
actor.
yeah, got the
There you go.
infatuation with that, and then meets a very odd man who is our other protagonist, which is Ken, who believes heavily in aliens, and he starts his own sort of alien club.
Yep.
And they have this back and forth like, no, aliens are real, no, ghosts are real, and they don't believe
Yeah,
each
yeah.
other, which ends off kicking him into going into this tunnel.
Hmm.
This
Yeah,
tunnel.
to prove that that spirits are real, she's like, well, off you go. Sends him to a tunnel, and then she gets abducted.
Yeah, she randomly gets abducted, and because these
Yeah.
aliens cannot breed themselves, they have to use humans to abduct
Yeah, yeah.
and then to reproduce from their end. And they continually refer to bananas. It's
Yeah,
like-
yeah. Let me eat your dong.
so while Momo's abducted and they're trying to work out how to proceed, Ken is fighting his way through trying to avoid this ghost who is obsessed about about dongs.
Eating his dong. Yeah.
It's it's
Oh,
nuts.
she's also, yeah, getting, like you said, getting impregnated by aliens in like a pretty graphic scene as well. And they're talking about like taking her virginity and stuff. And it's like, whoa, it's pretty fucking, it's pretty out there.
This is and then for some unknown reason, he gets transported back into through the phone because the phone rings. He gets to transport because he's now possessed by the ghost who loves
Turbo
dongs.
Granny.
And he comes in there and then she just mops the floor with all of the aliens. Like
Yeah.
it's the animation is bonkers and matches the tone because the tone is absolutely bonkers. Like
Right. Yeah, it is.
it went from like your casual sort of, high school teen sort of anime
Slice of life. Yeah.
to this whacked out what in the hell is
Which I
happening
love.
here.
Yeah. I think this is kind of what I love about this is just there's no rules. Like the second episode is this huge fight between both of them and there's like an alien who if they think's a demon at first ends up being an alien. Forest Walker or something like that. It's actually a real. I looked it up as well. It's a real thing that they saw in America supposedly. Um, yeah, I just love that there's no fucking rules so far. Like it's nuts. And like her power is she can almost has like she can now because of the abduction she can move things with her mind or with her hand sort of. And she has to use that to keep Turbo Granny from taking over. So she's always concentrating on him and trying to keep him. So while they're fighting this big fucking monster in the second episode, yeah, she's also having to concentrate on him as well and like make sure that because he's possessed by a demon too, he can get burnt up by like Tory Gate protection spells as well. So she has to like there's a bit of balance of who can we how can we make sure he gets safe, but also protect against other demons, and it's really interesting. A quick side note: Barbara Goodson, who's the voice of Rita Repulsa in Power Rangers, is the voice of Turbo Granny in the English
No,
version.
no way.
Yeah, a
That's
good
so
A.
good. That's so good. What a throwback. I wonder if like
Uh-huh.
they deliberately did that. They're like, "Yo, you want a gig?"
Oh,
And
she's pretty fucking funny.
she was like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, it's great. I'm really enjoying it. I'm already wanting to watch more, which is a good thing. But it's nuts. It's so silly and over the top. It reminds me like a similar style as Chainsaw Man. Like it's super gory, super graphic. They don't hold back on like the sexual innuendos, things like that. But they're also the characters have heart to them as well. Like so
yeah.
far, I'm really enjoying two characters just going about and trying to like figure stuff out, and her being like the strong, dominant type, and him being this little fucking weeb guy in the corner, and he has no like somehow he loses his dong, like I'm guessing because of Turbo Granny. In the second episode, she's like teasing him for it and stuff, and you know he's all like, "Oh, leave me alone!" Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's so
good.
bizarre. But yeah, I'm glad it's living up to the hype. Do you think this would do better if they released all, what, 13 episodes, 12 episodes, whatever it is, or 12 episodes? Or do you think the weekly run is like builds more hype because people end up talking about that
Yeah, I
episode?
don't know. We've had these discussions before. It's hard to say. I think I like stuff all coming out at once. I can watch it when I want to, but watch be knowing I also like the build up every week. Like when I watched Shogun, that came out every Monday night. Every Monday I was excited and I'd get home and I'd watch Shogun. Same with House of the Dragon.
Mhm.
Like I love that routine. So I don't know, I'm kind of excited that this is weekly.
Yeah,
I'm not sure about hype and stuff. I'm not sure how it changes things.
I think weekly should do like the first drop should always be two episodes, two or three episodes, so you can get a feel for it,
Sure.
and
Yeah,
then
that's
they
fair.
go weekly. So
Yep.
otherwise, you get one and you're like, I don't know if I like that enough yet.
Yeah, it's not a bad point. I think
Yeah,
that's about right.
yeah. So it's going to be hard to give a rating because I've only seen the first episode because we've been away. So the first episode was out. The second one only came out the 10th, I think, a couple of days ago.
Uh yeah, Friday the 11th. Yeah, the 11th.
Yeah. Yeah, so look, I think it's definitely worth seeing. Go check it out. It's absolutely bonkers. If you want to see something that's a good laugh and absolutely chaotic, give it a look.
Mhm.
Give it a look.
Yeah, it's killer. Yeah, I watched two, and I'm already excited for more.
Next episode is the 17th, so a little bit to go.
18th Friday, 18th for
Yeah,
us.
for us, yeah. Yeah. So give it a look. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, highly recommended.
Yeah,
It's pretty lighthearted so far,
so far.
but I've heard that I've heard there's heart to it later with like characters and a bit more weight to the story and stuff. You know, it takes more than two episodes for anime to really kick on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
fair.
far, it's just been less than an hour of stuff so far. So
Yeah,
I'm
just
into
give it
it.
a look.
The song again is so fucking good. The musical round is actually really good. There's a scene in the second fight where they have a fight, and sorry, in the second fight, there's a scene in the second episode where they're fighting, and the music fucking just drops, and it's insane. Like the soundtrack is so it feels different to what I'm used to hearing anime. Anime's often got very like typical anime music. Not that it all sounds the same, but there's a certain like genre,
Yeah,
whereas this is going to like more techno and rap and stuff, which I reckon is really cool.
okay. Yeah,
And the animation and the fight scenes are fucking awesome. I want you to watch the second one. I think you're really that's gonna like kick you into enjoyment factor more because it's a bit more like action heavy.
yeah, right. Yeah, okay. I
But
wanted
I
to
want
watch
this to
more,
be
but
yeah, it's fair. I want this to be more like some slice of life stuff, some action stuff. I think this show could do really well if it bounces between sort of anime genres. We'll see. I'm giving it a four so far. I know you haven't. I know you're not going to give a number because you've only watched one of them, but I think
Yeah,
it's great. I'm on
yeah,
a four, maybe even more.
nice, nice. All right, let's jump into the Wild Robot. This is
Oh my God.
the newest one out now.
Yeah.
So, after a shipwreck, an intelligent robot called Roz is stranded on an uninhabited island. To survive the harsh environment, Roz bonds with the island's animals and cares for an orphan baby goose. Bom, bom,
Yeah.
bom. So, this was took us by
How?
surprise.
When did you watch this? And in what was the context? Like, were you watching it alone? I think that matters to me. Sorry, I want to ask that first.
Yeah, so I got this one watched as soon as we finished the last podcast. So it's been quite some time watching it because I watched
Okay.
it before we went away. So it's been,
But alone
yep,
and in sequence, or you doing other things at the same time?
I had it on.
You had it on. This movie, like you're about to say, surprised the fuck out of me. I cried so much.
Yeah, right. I
It
didn't,
it it got me hard.
I didn't get that far, but it was definitely an emotional ride throughout.
So I think you got to really fucking watch and invest.
Oh, look,
It's the same way that
I'm not on that level with you though. Like,
no, I know. You don't watch the movies the same way I do.
well, in terms of the emotional responses either.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you didn't really give yourself a chance for the emotional response on this.
Okay. Look,
Because you're watching while you're doing stuff, you're distracted. I
yeah,
sat there
depends.
staring at it with tears in my eyes for the last 40 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Shit got
Okay.
me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, right. Well, the old Wild Robot, definitely worth recommend. It's worth seeing without going into anything. So if you don't want spoilers, go see it. Go
Yeah.
see it now, pause it, come back, tell your friends about it, tell your friends about movie talks, and then come back and get our point of view on this one. So go and see it. Just bring your tissue box if you like Lawson, or just enjoy it like me.
Also, I'm gonna say right now, go watch It's What's Inside as well, because that's way better without any knowledge of what the story beats are.
Mhm.
So go watch Wild Robot and What's Inside, and then come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, yeah.
Go see them all. So we've got our robot Roz who gets dropped off into this island. So she gets
Hmm.
stranded there after a shipwreck. And then due to a incident, unfortunately, the mother and father goose are killed. And then well, I was about to say abducted, but that's not the right word. Adopts,
Adopts. It's quite
adopts.
different.
Yeah, that's a whole different meaning in this film if that
Yeah,
happens.
it's a different movie.
Yeah. She adopts this baby goose and then has a ragtag group that sort of helps them along the road. And we have our baby goose that because he thinks the robot is his parents,
Hmm.
adopts. I'm stuck on adopts now. Is takes on the mannerisms of a
Adopts
robot
is
as
right.
well.
Yeah, yeah,
Adopts,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. So like you see the baby goose pretending to be a robot at times, like
Yeah. Beep boop
initiating,
beep.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and doing a number of things. Like you can see there are some moments where you're like, oh, okay, this is going to happen. Obviously, the goose is going to
Yeah,
find out that the robot isn't actually the parents
yeah,
and that the robot killed the parents. That's what you expected. There was even a training montage in this. I was like, wow,
yeah,
training montage. Like,
yeah.
yeah, I love a training montage, even
That
if they're
was that
bad.
was one of the bits that got me when when it first started flying.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's a movie about like self-discovery as well. So like the baby goose coming of age, finding out all the different parts about family connections, that your family's bigger than just your blood. It's like who you bring in.
yeah. It's about belonging and like,
Yeah.
do we belong to those who we're connected with blood, or it's like that. The saying's always been misinterpreted, but um, the whole blood is thicker than water. But it's the actual full saying is blood blood of the covenant is thicker than water of the womb, meaning the bonds you form with people are stronger bonds than just because you happen to be family. I think that's what this is about as well. Like it's not necessarily about the family you're related to. It's more about family you create.
Yeah. Yeah. So as they're going along, you have all those sort of tropes of like all of a sudden the baby goose is growing up, wants to try and meet other people and friends, get different friends, but struggles because he goes in there pretending to be like a robot because that's what he's
Hmm.
been exposed to. And then
Yeah.
he meets another pack of geese. Is that right?
Yeah.
What's it?
I don't.
Is
Let's
that
look
what
it
a
up. Let's look
what's
it
it,
up.
is that what a flock of goose or a group of gooses are? Are
It
they
probably
geese?
it probably is flock, but oh, a gaggle. Of course, it's a gaggle of geese.
It's a gaggle of geese. Well,
Yeah, of course.
he meets another gaggle. He meets a gaggle of geese, and then you have
Yeah.
your standard. Oh, you don't belong here. Like you're the outsider. He gets sort of bullied, and you think there's going to be a love interest, and it's like, no.
Sorry, I just read that the
Oh,
other no, the other collective nouns for geese. One of them is a corpse of geese,
what?
a flock, a skein, a wedge, a corpse. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Yep, my bad.
Wow. Okay, that's that's dark. So
Sorry, totally got off topic there. I just
yeah.
blew my mind. I read that.
Yeah. So we run into the other geese, and you think there's going to be a love interest. Like he meets a young geese, young girl geese, and then the
Yep.
other bully geese come in. They're like, no, you don't belong here. Get out of here. You can't
Hmm.
fly.
Hmm.
You're the runt. Blah blah blah.
The
And then
freak and whatever. Yeah.
yeah, those standard sort of tropes. And then
Uh-huh.
obviously he has that sort of, oh no, why is everyone mean to me? That sort of stuff. Like there are very standard storylines in terms of like the tropes that they got to hit, but they do it really, really well. So
Yeah,
like everything is
they
really
do.
well done, even for a robot that you don't think is going to be able to show emotion. I was surprised how much emotion a robot is able to get across.
Yeah, it's where animation shines, being able to bring emotion to things that are, usually emotionless. Definitely.
Yeah.
It's reminded me a lot of, for good reason, I'll go there in a second, but Lilo and Stitch
Oh yeah.
in how it's all about, especially the themes, but also the end where, the aliens come and try and take the thing away that doesn't belong with the things, found new connection with the family and stuff. Turns out it's the same writer, so it makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
The other thing that reminded me a lot of was How to Train Your Dragon, in
Oh
the
yeah.
way that
Yeah.
it's about forming bonds with things that don't necessarily inform bonds. And
Okay.
uh, yeah, he was also a writer on that as well. So there's a lot, there are things that it reminds me of, but it's quite original as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of emotion in the robot for sure.
Yeah. That was cool. And then you've got obviously your like comic relief character, the fox. The fox was definitely
Yeah,
a comic relief
Pedro
character.
Pascal.
Yeah, he was quite fun. I quite enjoyed
Yeah,
him. It's roaming
he brought another
around.
element too. I like that because we got the character that doesn't belong in the universe, and we got the character that's raised differently in the universe, but also got the character that's hated by everyone else in the universe because the fox is sly and is an asshole, and it's a fox eat fox island. And I like that there's someone else there to show them the ropes, but also who is disliked, and how much over time that character changes, and his initial motives were, I can take advantage of this robot because the robot straight away is like, I believe anything you tell me. And he's like, oh, noted. And then from then on, he just fucking lies to her and manipulates her and whatever.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. And then he, over time, changes and, yeah, has a heart and whatever. It's great.
yeah. I also like that the robot took damage. Like it wasn't just your pristine white the whole time. Like there was a moment
Yeah.
where uh what's his name? Uh Bright Bill gets taken by an eel or whatever the fish was, and like he's running out in the
Barracuda
water
or whatever. Yeah, yeah,
and like loses a leg because it gets wedged and has to like break it out. And
yeah.
yeah, like it was good to see that they're not just this invincible. Like they even grow moss
Yeah.
on the robot and stuff. Like they took
Uh-huh.
a lot of attention to detail. That's what I
Definitely.
was impressed with.
There's
Uh,
a very short animation, not very, it's like 7 minutes, 11 minutes. There's a short animation called The Last Bastion, which is actually an Overwatch animation, but it's beautiful. I use it in Year 9 film to deconstruct and talk about because there's no dialogue the whole way. It's a robot with emotion, blah, blah, blah.
mhm.
And how they use different colors and anything, telemotion. And this in ways maybe that as well. Um, but this can go so much deeper with a full hour and a half. Like this is one of those movies that I will look back on fondly for a very long time. Um, so many fucking amazing. Like I talk about all the time how actors aren't voice actors, but I also think that sometimes they are. Like Pedro Pascal, we obviously know already that he can do, pardon me, almost anything. But his voice acting as this fox is unrecognizable. Like I didn't know he was even him.
True.
Bill Nye was just Bill Nye. Matt Berry was Matt Berry. Um, Mike Hamill was in it. Bing Rames was the fucking eagle. Uh, yeah, I was just super impressed. Just all around the board. I don't know what I have to say negative about this. I think
No.
the only negative is like it does nothing unpredictable happens. You know, I wasn't expecting at the end for Roz to leave. I thought, after the end conflict, she would stay there and whatever. But it makes sense because she's like, I can't stick around. I just want to add more chaos and more danger. They're gonna keep coming back for me.
Yep.
But I think that it's not a bad thing. That's the only thing that to me was a little bit like unpredictable. But the rest was pretty, play at the beats I wanted it to, I expected it to. But yeah, getting him flying the first time when he left and Roz was left back with Fox, Pedro. Um, when they meet back at the first time again, when they fight at the end, all those moments, I just tears rolling down my face. They just do so well. The music swelling and stuff, like it's same with How to Train Your Dragon. It's the same emotional thing for me. Like
Yep.
they just use the music so well and have that swelling moment, whatever. It just gets me.
Yeah,
Well
no,
done.
they did everything quite well. There was a point where I was like, okay. I didn't really like the ending where it was like they all of a sudden come and just collect. And I was like, okay. I would have preferred her
Yeah.
to just like power down. And that's like, oh no, like I've run out of, like my mission's complete. I have no more power or whatever. I feel like that would have been, I don't know. I don't know. I
Because the
just,
end conflict, like why have the end conflict if literally as soon as it ends, she goes, well, they're gonna come back and I'll go with them.
hmm,
Like why even have that whole fight? Why not make that decision earlier and not burn down half the forest?
yeah, look, I don't know. I don't know. I would have thought self-sacrifice to stop the conflict would have been. But I guess you do get that, like she leaves
Yeah.
just cause. But nah, I don't know. It felt a little bit cheap for me at the end. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
It's
And
the only
then
part that I was like, what, huh? Really? Is that what? Okay, sure, if you say so.
and then she meets another one at the end as well. It was like, "Grr, we do. We always complete our mission or whatever it is. I was okay, cool.
Now it's the same one.
Yeah, but like another robot of her when she's up in the factory thingo, factory world.
Oh, when the ducks are all together
Yeah,
before
well,
the end conflict.
yeah,
Right. Yeah, yeah. I also
uh,
like it's pretty cool. This is set like the universe was all post-apocalypse because like the San Francisco bridge was all flooded and this was like post-human survival. Like humans were still around, but this was set way. And I love that we didn't need to know all that. Like we got to see that the world was destroyed and people were living inside these little domes of farm domes or whatever they were. We didn't need all this lore explanation. Like the movie literally starts with Roz getting out of a box. Like that's literally how it starts. We don't need backstory and fucking exposition and shit.
no, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It's good. It's very good. To me, it's a four.
Yeah, yeah, I'm on the same boat. I'm on a four. Yeah,
Yeah. It's closer to
uh,
a 4.5 than a four, but
yeah,
it's not quite there.
I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting another mindless like kung fu pandery kind of
Yeah.
nothingness.
I wasn't expecting great things either. I'm sort of
Uh,
over animation. Not over animation, but I just think that a lot of stuff we're getting at the moment is just churning out the same sort of like, oh, boop-de-doo sort of
yeah,
movies. But
so
this was
ple
beautiful.
pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
Hmm. All right, so now moving on to the other Netflix specials. There's two this week. We have It's What's Inside. So this one we saw, but this is a interesting experience. So again, if you have not seen this, you need to come into this absolutely with no context because it is a much better experience when you see it
Yes.
without
100%.
context, which I think is going to, this movie will perplex a lot of people. Like it's out there.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's going to hit with the masses. I think it's going to divide
Yeah.
quite a
The
lot of
reviews
people.
are pretty disappointing if I'm honest, but yeah, you're not wrong. I think it's not everyone's cup of tea.
Look, took me about 50 minutes to be like, oh, okay, this is actually I'm going to see this through. Where the first 50, I was like, I could probably stop here and not be
Oh really? No,
and
I
not
was fucking hooked.
yeah yeah. See, like I'm glad I stuck it out because the
Yeah,
payoff was worth it. But
definitely.
with that first 50 minutes, I was like, I could probably I could probably move on with my life without ever
Yeah.
seeing the end of it.
Yeah. And I think coming into it with I knew nothing. I didn't even see a trailer or anything. I literally just saw this was on Netflix. It was on a Friday night that I was like, yeah, I'll just watch it because I'm in a movie mood and I can't figure out anything else what to watch and this will do. I thought it was gonna be more of like a fucking teeny boppy, you know, comedy romance sort of thing. I had no idea.
Yeah,
Uh, but as soon as the premise was revealed, I was hooked. And then once the sort of the act two twist climax happens, it's like, okay, I'm in. I'm into this now. How's
yeah,
this gonna turn out?
yeah. So yeah, go and see it. Otherwise, if you're not
Yeah.
going to watch it, welcome back or in or stay or
The way to quickly quick not spoiler, but quickly let you know, if you want to watch it or not. The way I've been putting it to people is it's a psychological thriller. It's not scary in any way. It's gonna make you think. There's a few little twists and turns here and there. And it's very cleverly made. Put simply, it's a body swap
Mhm.
movie. But there's a lot more to it than that. So if you're interested in watching it, please go watch it ASAP. It is a way like literally night and day difference between watching it with or without spoilers.
True.
It won't be anywhere near as good with hearing what everything happened. So
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like at my TV at certain points, you know? So yes, go watch it and then come back.
Yep. So a group of friends gather for a pre or wedding party that descends into a existential nightmare when an strangely
Estranged.
a strange friend arrives with a mysterious game that awakens long hidden secrets, desires, and grudges. Bom, bom, bom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got your standard sort of catalyst moment that brings a lot of people together, which is a wedding. So we have a friend of the group who is getting married. So Ruben
Ruben. Yeah.
is getting married, and he's obviously invited all of his friends to come along to share in his special day. But then, lo and behold, we have a friend that got banished from or expelled from college, which is Forbes. He gets invited, which causes conflict with the group. The group is they're kind of stereotypical. There's a couple of characters where I'm like, okay, like you're
Yeah.
like when they're presented, they're pretty stereotypical. I feel like they have more
Yeah.
depths when as
They
they
felt they
progress.
felt different though. I liked. They all had enough, you're meeting eight characters at once.
Yeah,
I felt like there was enough of difference between them to understand who was who and sort of, see a bit of a difference in personality, which I
yeah.
liked.
But you still run like pretty stereotypical characters. You got Shelby and Cyrus who are together, but Cyrus
Toxic.
is, yeah. So Shelby is trying to reconnect their relationship. Cyrus
Hmm.
has always been into Nikki
Yep.
and has kind of, I guess, well, doesn't sound nice, but settled for Shelby because he couldn't get Nikki, which gets revealed
Yep.
later on. We have.
Sort of. There is
Yeah,
in the beginning, there is a moment where because I watched it twice, where he's caught having a little bit of quiet alone time by his missus, and at that point he's on Nikki's page. So without knowing her, you don't catch that. But yeah.
Yeah.
You do see pretty early that he's still pining over her.
Yeah. And like the opening scene is her like doing the wig thing. So she like wears a blonde wig and like pretty much
Foreshadowing.
yeah, just dressing up as Nikki.
Yep, role
Um
play.
yep, Cyrus is highly unlikable. I hated Cyrus
He sucks. He sucks.
throughout.
He's so
Yep.
fucking toxic. The way he
Yep.
manipulates people and try to use their language against them and stuff is a piece of shit.
Yep.
He
Uh,
sucks.
Dennis is one of those guys that they portray as sort of peaked in high school. Like he's
Yep.
the larrikin, always like
Yep.
looking the party, etc. We got
Yep.
Maya,
He's that
who's
guy that just gets lucky and gets away with everything because he just somehow gets lucky like with life.
yeah,
He gets rich through his parents, and he lives on his parents' wealth, and he's done nothing with his life since college.
yeah. We got Maya, who's like your hippie-ness, like
Yeah, yeah. The
Buddha,
spiritual
etc.
girl.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Then we got Nikki, who's your Instagram model, who's really famous on
Influencer.
Instagram. Yeah. And
Yep,
then we
yep.
got Brooke, who she was just like a stoner, really.
Yeah, Brooke, I was disappointed. Didn't have heaps to do.
No.
Like she was, yeah, pretty. But yeah, she was the stoner. She's the chiller.
Yeah.
She's the token Asian.
Yeah, so you throw all those in there, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. And then Forbes comes along. Forbes brings this random suitcase, which is then they're like, oh, you have your reunion. Like, hey, it's great to see you. You're trying to
Hmm.
establish where everyone sits in this group. And then
Hmm.
Forbes is like, yo, you want to play a game? This is a game
Hmm.
that you have used in a classroom, and you quite often you have card games of like werewolf or whatever it's
Werewolf.
called.
Yeah, yeah. I literally have the werewolf in my bag of tricks, my school bag of tricks.
Yeah. So it's like
Yeah.
who's the werewolf? And then they hook up to this machine, and this is where it all kicks off, and you're like, oh, this is interesting. Before that, actually, there's a foreshadowing where is it
Yes.
Brooke is like, oh, look at my drawing, and then you can see with the different colors, they're like you
Yep.
can see who it is and different things, and you're like, oh,
Yep.
okay,
Yep.
which they actually use quite
Yes, they
often.
do very well, and they use filters. It's not done in post, which I really like. It's not like they did some color grading afterwards, make the scene look red. They use red filters on the camera, which makes it look completely different. They did a really
Yeah,
good job.
yeah. So that's pretty cool. They
One more
as
thing, sorry, one more thing that's worth
oh
mentioning before Forbes comes is they're all talking about him because he got expelled at this party where was it Ruben or Dennis? Dennis
Dennis.
was sleeping with his sister Beatrice, and they're talking about Beatrice, and they're like, it's a really fucking clever scene because it's all done in like the person talking in like the background, and it's done in like still shots of the party. But as people come in and add more to the story, more layers get added to like the visuals. Like the background might change, or a character like, no, 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 you weren't there, I was there, and they swap out one character to the next. Like it's really quite clever the way that they retell those events with like the cinematography of it. Yeah, love
Yeah.
that. But yeah, they're talking about Forbes and that he's been kicked out, and no one's really excited to see him. The only person who seems excited when he rocks up is Ruben.
Yeah. So it's pretty
Anyway,
cool. Like, yeah, the way they are able to give you all that information, like it's a lot of information in a very short amount of time, but because they give you
hmm.
that visual representation as well as the voiceover, and it's not like really long where you're like, oh, okay, we're just going to sit here and listen to all this
Hmm.
information. It's like, bang, here it is, and then back
Yep,
on with the story. Like, it's cool, it's
yep,
stylish, it's enough movement, it's like holding your
yes,
attention. It's cool.
very,
And then they all sit down and play this game where all of a sudden they all switch bodies and they're like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then they're like,
yeah,
all right, let's play a game. So now this is where that werewolf game comes in.
yep,
And
yep.
then the first time, like the first two times they do it, I was like, oh, okay, it's not that interesting. It wasn't until the third time, which is about that 50-minute mark, where you're like, oh, okay, this is going to
No,
be.
it's the second time that ship goes down.
Was it? I feel like
Yeah,
they did like a tester.
the first time they did a tester,
Yeah.
that's when Forbes lies about being in Cyrus's body was actually inside Dennis's body, or he's lied about being Ruben's body.
I
But
thought
yeah,
they, I
Forbes is
thought,
in Dennis's body first.
I thought they hooked up first, and they're like, "Duh," and then they're like, "Oh yeah, it's cool." Okay, I thought it was three times. Whatever.
Oh yeah, look, you're not wrong. They do a little tiny swap for a few seconds before they introduce the game.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry, I actually forgot about that. You're 100% correct.
yeah, thought so. Thought so.
Yeah, they do a
Yep,
very tiny like body swap for like 10 seconds and they swap back and then they are like, let's do it again, let's do it properly, let's play the game. Yep, yep, yep.
yep, yep.
My
And then
apologies.
and then they kick off, and then in one at the first time they switch bodies for a long time where they're playing the game, you have Cyrus and Forbes pretending to be in each other's bodies. We
Yep.
have Cyrus being a very dirty, dirty boy trying to
Uh-huh.
hook up with Nikki. It's like well opportunity who
Hmm.
is pretty cool because then they show you the filter over the camera and you're like, oh, that's
Yes.
who's inside each people's bodies.
Yep, yep. And the colors, like red is always when you see people in their bodies, and they're really clever because you never see orbs in that light, which we'll discuss later
Yeah.
in the red filter.
Yeah, I didn't
And
pick.
they use a green filter for like moments of envy when characters are fighting. Often it's a green filter. Blue is often like a romantic filter. So they cut between the blue and the red when there's a heated sex scene. Um, I was had a discussion with someone if there's like comments on rape in this because like if it's not your body and you're not consenting, does it still count, or are you only in control of your body so that it's not rape unless yeah it's
Okay.
I'm not sure either. Someone else brought that up yesterday. We were having a chat with someone at work and they were like, "This is my thoughts." I was like, "Oh well, I don't actually think about that." But again, it's the whole thing. If you put your brain in somebody else, are you still your person or are you the new person? Like there's a lot of that as well. Anyway, sorry, off topic. But
Yeah,
yes,
I
the
don't
first
know.
time. Second
Yeah,
time they swap. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Forbes is lying. He's inside Dennis when you told everybody else is inside Cyrus.
yeah. And they do really well. I actually did not see the ending coming. I was quite surprised with
Hmm.
it. I was like, well played. Normally,
Yeah,
movies, you're like, oh, I see this coming a mile away. But
definitely.
because there is so much happening as well, you're like, whoa,
It's
what
very
is
fast
happening?
paced. Yep.
Yes. So we're like swapping bodies, we're playing the game, we're getting little bits of things happening here, there, we're getting them interacting with
Hmm.
each other. You're trying to keep up with who's in whose body as
Yep,
well.
yep. Yeah, definitely. Especially from our perspective as well.
Yeah. And
But yeah, you're right.
then
Cyrus is being fucking a dirty dog and pretending to be Dennis inside Forbes's body. I get a little confused the first time, and
yeah, I'm not
he's hooking up with someone, and then they think they're hooking up with somebody else, but it's actually Cyrus, and then yeah, then he's like convincing Shelby to play, and he uses her words against her, which is earlier she's talking about new experiences and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, you're the one talking about new experiences all the time, and now we have an opportunity for this, and you're like, saying no." And he's such a manipulative piece of shit. He does such a good job. James Morosini, the
yeah.
actor, because I
Yeah.
hate Cyrus. Such a fucking wank.
Yeah. So and then obviously you've got them most of them all loving it after the second time. Shelby's
Hmm.
not, you get that manipulation. Then they go the third time, and that's where you're like, ooh, we've got some complications here.
Oh yes. Oh
Yeah.
yes.
So they do it again. We see Forbes hook them all up, do these like bits and pieces. He shows Shelby how the machine
Yep.
works, which is very
Important.
convenient. And
Hmm.
then they kick off, they swap all their bodies again, they have their interactions. We have two characters, well, we almost have four characters getting it on. So we have,
Yeah. Shelby's inside Nikki, and Cyrus is inside Forbes.
yep. And then,
Externally, it's Nikki and Forbes hooking up, but it's the couple Shelby and Cyrus hooking up. And Shelby's like, it's like role play. It's like wearing a wig. Like, and he's into it. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I get to hook up with Nikki. He cares about the body. She cares about the brain. And then she's like, call me Nikki, call me Nikki. And he's like, oh yeah, Nikki. And then she calls him Forbes. And he's like, oh, I can't do it. Oh, I can't do it. Because he's a fucking piece of shit, man.
yeah. And then they have their conflict
Yep.
continuously throughout. They
Yep.
continually go up and down. Then we've got, oh, who is it? It's Ruben
Ruben inside
and
Dennis's body,
Buddy.
and it's Brooke inside
Right.
Maya's body.
That's right.
Yep.
Because Ruben's got a thing for Maya.
Yep.
Yep. Because there's that really long pause at the first like dinner table where they're like
Yeah,
just showing
yeah.
him staring at her.
Yeah, right.
I was like,
Kind of
oh, okay.
awkward, but well set up.
Yeah, so they're for some reason getting it on at the balcony. The balcony,
Hmm.
for whatever reason, like it's going to take a lot of core strength and a lot of movement.
Yeah.
It's a weird spot, but they're doing
Yeah.
it, and all of a sudden, this railing just happens to collapse,
Yeah.
which has some nice cuts in it. So unfortunately, they didn't do a great job where it snapped. It was just like clean cuts throughout. It wasn't like
Yeah.
jagged,
I know,
but whatever.
but
Like
whatever.
they fall down, they die, and then
Yep.
this is where
Impaled.
a lot of conflict happens because you can't return to a dead body. So you're
Yep.
going to be trapped in other people's bodies. And this is where it gets absolutely interesting, where they're like
Oh yeah.
trying to switch back, make deals. And it was like a whole episode of Survivor where they're like
Yeah.
just working and manipulating
Yeah.
each other and just like Forbes tries to run off with the machine and he's
Uh-huh.
in a different body. Can't remember whose body who's he's in.
He's in
Dennis.
Cyrus's body. No,
No,
no.
he's not.
He's in Dennis's body.
Yeah,
No, no, Dennis is down on the top. So he's in Ruben's body? I remember. I
I
remember.
don't know. But for whatever reason, he's in a different body. Nikki is in Brooke's body, and Shelby's still in Nikki's body. And Shelby's like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm gonna keep your body."
Who's in Dennis? And Dennis is in Cyrus because his because he calls up. Yeah, yeah, because he calls the
Yeah,
police.
yeah. And he's like, "Give me
Dennis
back
is
my
in
body."
Cyrus. So I think Forbes is in Dennis then. I can't remember at that point. No, but Dennis dies because Dennis is on the balcony, like his body. I honestly remember. I've seen this twice and I've already forgotten. Um, yeah, yeah, because yeah, Dennis in Cyrus's body calls the police and is like, my friends are dead. We're at this address. I pushed them. I killed them.
Yeah,
So then there's a time limit, and then literally from that point, there's a motif of hearing like a ticking in the background every now and then to remind us, like the audience, that literally right now the police are on their way. There is a time crunch.
yeah.
Clever.
Yeah, so they're swapping and changing. They're making different deals. People, all the characters are interacting with each other. They're trying to like work out who's going to do it. They're trying to convince Shelby to do the machine because she's the only one because Forbes is knocked
Yeah.
out. And then there's like bartering. Shelby and Cyrus have their confrontation final moment where it's like Shelby and Nikki's body is the Cyrus in Forbes' body. Do you want me to stay in this? We can run away and start a new life. And
Uh-huh.
then catches him out and he's like, yep, let's do it. And then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. Forbes wakes up in the other body, and then there's a whole like tackle scene. We don't see who's who, and then they get what they called the things on their temples, their little
Yeah,
paddle
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
paws, whatever. And then the police barge in, fades to black, and we're presented with this brand new character, Road Raging. And I'm like, what in the hell is happening here?
Yeah, yeah.
I was so confused. Which
She
turns
comes
out,
in. Yeah.
okay,
This woman comes in, Beatrice.
yeah, Beatrice, which I didn't expect. I did not expect this ending.
No.
No, she comes in, heavy road rage into the wedding. The wedding, lots and lots of people looking quite sad. People are a bit
Yeah.
confused. This thing's moving
Uh-huh.
around. Forbes is just sitting there drinking. And then Beatrice storms at Forbes, and there's a confrontation, which turns out that the big reveal Beatrice did it all along. She'd been
Yep.
plotting her revenge. She's a bit of a
100%.
psychopath,
Uh-huh.
and was pretty cool that she's then swapped and changed, manipulated all this. We get a
Yeah.
flashback to see when she's actually in the different bodies, and she's driving away in Nikki's body.
Yeah. So all this time, Forbes has actually been Beatrice, his sister. There's all a big plot to burn down their friendship group because they all fucked with her and yeah, especially Dennis because she thought their relationship. She was young and naive and he lied to her and got what he wanted.
Yep.
You know, quick
Yeah.
route, etc. Um, and yeah, we find out as well that when Beatrice was Dennis, she stole his money. Um, and then at the end she ends up taking Nikki's body in the last little swapping scene. Like she comes in and like does a little change on the machine and The only people who end up in their actual bodies are Shelby and Cyrus. But Cyrus ends up going to jail, and then Shelby comes to like talk to him, and she literally uses, which is such a clever moment again. She literally uses his words against him, in the final scene to like tell him off, which was really clever again because he's been doing the entire movie. Um, and yeah, it's a really it's good. It's a really like you say at that point, there's already been so many like twists and stuff that you don't really expect another one. And then yeah, Beatrice coming up and fighting Forbes, and Forbes at that point is that Dennis in Forbes' body? Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know.
and yeah, he's like, "What? Who the fuck are you?" Like, yeah, like, I'm Forbes. I'm the real Forbes. It's good.
Yeah,
It's smart. I really enjoyed it, and like the editing is fucking awesome. Not just with like I said before, like the filters and stuff, and the use of color. Like I think that's really clever too, of course. But I really like all the split screens they do. There's a moment where when they first all jump, there's like it's almost like the Brady Bunch intro with all nine. In the middle one is the actual machine, and they jump bodies, and you see them all like reacting for like 10 seconds as their own body. It's really fun to rewatch that over and over again, see who like and try and pick out who's who and how they're reacting. Um, and even like the scene where Cyrus and Shelby come up with a code so they can like they rub their eyebrow to it's me sort of thing. And I love there's a split screen when they first jump or they jump the third time, and Cyrus in Forbes's body is like rubbing his eyebrow. He's looking around at everyone, is rubbing his eyebrow, and just over and over and over again. And you see different perspectives, people looking at him like, why is he rubbing his eyebrow like that? Um, yeah, I think that editing is really good, and it's not just I don't like when fast means better, but it does mean better in this case. Like it added to the chaos of the film.
yeah, yeah. It was cool. I was not expecting that.
Mm,
If yeah, I watched it on my phone because I downloaded it from Netflix and watched it on the plane. The only
yeah.
downside, there are some really dark moments, so there was a lot of times I got like reflective, like it was really
Oh,
reflective on
okay.
my phone. So like it
Sure.
took a little bit of the experience away because then it was
Right.
just me looking at myself, looking into the phone.
Seeing your face staring back at you.
Yeah, which is
Yeah, yeah.
a little bit odd, but like it's a cool experience. It's definitely worth a watch. It's well edited. It's very clever.
Mhm.
Go and see it.
Yeah, if you've watched this entire thing of us talking about it and you haven't already seen it, well then we've kind of ruined it for you.
Yeah, that's
But if
still
you come back from just watching it and you're listening to us talk about it, how good was it, right?
mm.
Surprising.
Welcome
And
back.
disappointing because you got no advertising. No one's really talking about it. I feel like it's gonna be missed. And like, this is one of those movies that I would have loved a theatrical release so I can talk to people about it. Being one other person so far that I know who's watched it. I had a chat with them yesterday at work, but besides that, no one I know has really seen it.
Yeah, it's just annoying. Well, they push like Rebel Moon, but they won't push this. Well, this is
Yeah,
better than Rebel Moon.
yeah. This is great. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is surprisingly good, and it's one of those things I've been telling a lot of people to watch.
yeah. Go
Yeah.
and see it. Go and see it. What would you give it?
A four.
Hmm.
I think a four. I've given everything a four this week. I feel like I should. I don't know. It's probably my favorite thing I've watched. I think I like it more than Wild Robot. Maybe four and a half.
Okay.
That's probably too generous. It's not near a masterpiece, but it's really clever and well done. I think a four is fair. Yeah,
I
it's
think a
great.
four's fair. I'm on the four. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Glad I stuck with it because that first 50 minutes I was like, mm, but
Yeah.
yeah,
It goes
stuck
from
with it.
being like fun to being really interesting as soon as those characters die.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
That
that's
was
when I was like, oh no way, no way, no way. Like that totally changed the direction of the film.
yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
Ah, wow. Next week we have a bit of another two Netflix specials. So we have Outside, which is a post-apocalyptic zombie film, but less
Hmm.
about zombies and more about
The
dealing with,
survivors, yeah.
yeah. Then
Yeah,
we
yeah.
have a follow-up to Terrifier. Terrifier 3 is out. So
Yep.
Terrifier 2 was an experience. And then
Jaws.
we have the newest Gundam Netflix one, which is 3D animation Gundam Requiem for Vengeance. I love Gundam, so I'm hoping this is good because this could be. It looks
Seen very little.
it looks bizarre, so I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping it's good. We'll see.
Yeah, I've seen very little of Gundam, so I know it's one of those things where, same when we watched, well, we saw another anime adaptation that I was like, I have no connection to this, but you had opinions. Remember?
Oh, it's good. Yeah, can't remember what that was.
Yeah, don't remember. But yeah,
Uh,
I'm not gonna have much opinion, like pre-existing conception of this, so it's gonna be good again because it means we're gonna have
yeah,
different experiences coming into it.
and we watched one Gundam, which was Witch Mercury of the Witch or Witch of the
Oh
Mercury or
yeah,
whatever it
yeah,
was.
yeah. That one. Uh-huh.
Yeah, which was a different take on Gundam. Gundam is a standalone, so you can come and watch wherever. Like,
Yeah,
there's no like well backstory you really need to know besides Earth and the Mars colony have split off and now they're at war. That's about it. And they're genetically modified up in Mars, and that's it. Yeah.
sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much, but cool.
Yep. You know what to do. If you listen on Spotify, give us a 5-star rating. On YouTube, like, comments, and subscribe. And tell your friends. Tell them all. Tell them
Tell
all your
your
friends.
friends.
And we'll see you guys next time. Boys.
Bye, love yous.